10 teachings from His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed. No need for long speeches when your behavior and actions are enough to share your message. In a time when more and more people pretend to be influencers and to inspire, the true leaders stand out by being genuine and sincere, acting accordingly to what they say, leading through example without seeking the fame. Anyone can be a role model regardless of titles or social status. We should seize every opportunity to learn from any situation. But what is interesting with people who are famous is that when you talk about them, people tend to be more concerned and to pay attention. So let's talk about His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai. We could easily talk about thousands of his pictures and write a book, but let's focus on a single one. Why this one in particular? Because when I saw it, I immediately thought about all the knowledge and information that we can get from it in terms of tradition, sustainability, health, and leadership. And I wondered if people took the time to analyze and try to understand all the messages a single image can transmit. So there you go. Here are 10 teachings from Sheikh Hamdan's spearfishing Instagram pics. Number 1. Reviving Dubai's fishing tradition. Emiratis have strong connection to the sea, and they once relied mostly on fishing, pearl diving, and marine trade. Fishing is one of the many traditions deeply anchored in Dubai's culture. Dubai's seawater is considered to be one of the cleanest in the world, and it contains a wide range of fish species. You, of course, can visit the well-known aquariums, fish markets and harbors, the Maritime Museum in Sharjah, and you will also get lots of information in Dubai's museum. This is part of the history, and I think that if anyone wants to have a better understanding of the culture, she has to learn more about all those traditions, and I'm really happy to get to discover this site. So what's so nice about Sheikh Hamdan fishing and posting it? He reminds the people about this tradition and shows this attachment to it. Never forget where you come from. This is one of the wisest advice we can be given, because in order to make progress in life, one definitely needs to know where he comes from and to go back to his roots. Being attached to tradition doesn't mean living in the past. On the contrary, it can help us evolve and improve by taking advantage of all the knowledge and wisdom inherited from past generations. Remembering and reflecting on their experiences, failures and successes, efforts and struggles, being thankful for all the accomplishments that now benefit us, and hoping we can take over and make sure their efforts still bear fruit. Developing a sense of belonging to a community that make us strive not only for our own happiness but for the people around us. Tradition brings guidance into our lives and comforts us when faced with the uncertainty of an unknown future. Encouraging an active lifestyle. One of the main health issues we have to deal with nowadays is the lack of physical activity. Our modern lifestyle tends to be more and more sedentary. We spend time sitting in our cars or at our desks all day long at work. We take public transports. We can order almost everything on internet. We spend more time on screens, television, smartphones, computers, etc. Water arrives directly in our houses. Food is available everywhere, and we don't need to go hunting, fishing, or picking vegetables. Being a fitness trainer, I often say that I wish my job was useless. Let me explain. We are made to be active, and if we lived the same life as the past generations did, we wouldn't need to add any physical activity to stay healthy. I'm not talking about training, because we enjoy it, of course. The need to work out is just a substitute to the activities naturally involved in an active lifestyle. So yes, spearfishing is not only a leisure or a way to get food, but a wonderful way to stay active. It also shows that we can definitely have fun in a way that is beneficial for our health, far from the screens that invade our lives, and that if we do it with our friends or family, we can motivate each other and create a positive dynamic. Now, if you like training and are consistent in your routine, that's totally fine. But if you can't train for any reason, just know that there are many ways to stay active on a daily basis, and that it can be a starting point. It's not just about making or having a gym membership, walk to the groceries instead of using your car, go for daily walks or bike rides, take the stairs instead of the elevator, do some gardening, play outside with your kids as long as you move. Number 3, keeping contact with nature. We are far from being aware of how beneficial it is to be in contact with nature. Should it be sea, desert, forest, mountain, river, whatever, human beings have a biological need to be in contact with nature, and it seems to be as important as other health factors such as healthy eating, exercise, sleep, or stress management. We are initially made to live in nature, which is the most favorable place for our senses, concentration skills, psychological and physical health. It's not just about how beautiful, peaceful, impressive, or silent a place can be. It is much deeper, actually. It seems as if nature rekindles and extinguished flames inside us and reconnects us to our prime nature. Like tradition, it is comforting and beneficial to go back to our roots. Our link to nature is investigated by researchers and even taken into consideration in medicine. Among all the benefits scientifically proven: decrease in blood pressure, increase in anti-cancer protein, increased energy, increased workout gains, less depression, stress reduction, improved cognitive functions, to name but a few. The time spent in natural space also significantly reduces hyperactivity and behavioral disorders in children. Unfortunately, the time we spend in such places keeps on decreasing over the years, and we suffer from what we could call a nature deficiency. It is important to try and spend more time in nature regularly for both our mental and physical health. Whether you go fishing, hunting, playing, or even just walking or sitting, all we need to reconnect and find the balance between our modern lives and our physiological needs. Number 4, sustainable fishing. Fish is supposed to be a very healthy and tasty source of protein and good fats as well as vitamins. The problem is that majority of the fish we buy nowadays has a very negative environmental and health impact. Overfishing. Around 30% of the stock of the main species of fish on the market are overfished, depleted, or recovering from depletion, and another 50% are already fished to the maximum allowable level. Seasonality. Like fruits and vegetables, fishes have seasons. These seasons depend on their reproductive cycle. Fishing should happen outside the reproductive season for the fish to be able to renew, but we can find all species of fishes all year long regardless of this concern. Farmed fish, intensive fish farming has a very negative impact on environment and the quality of the product, destruction and pollution of the ecosystems. Genetically manipulated species, use of antibiotics and disinfectants. Moreover, the farming of carnivorous species requires enormous quantities of forage fish to feed them. Long distances. We have access to varied species of fishes all year long, coming from any place in the world. This implies a huge waste of oil and energy and only worsens the lack of resources of our planet. Fish is farmed in one country, then processed in another one, and then sent to other countries for consumption. Mercury. Mercury is found naturally in nature, but industrial practices such as coal-fired electricity generation or the incineration of waste increases the amount of airborne mercury, which ends in lakes, rivers, and oceans and absorbed by the fish. Once it gets into the marine food chain, it accumulates, so larger fish are generally riskier to eat. Eating too much of this mercury poison fish can lead to various issues such as reproductive and nervous system disorders. Human fetuses exposed to mercury are also at increased risk of neurological disorder. So what shall we do? The best choice is to prefer seasonal and local wild fish, not at risk of depletion nor poisoned with mercury. And if you are the one who fishes, that's the best way to check that all the conditions are met. Number 5, encouraging healthy eating. One of my favorite books title is It Starts with Food, and it's true, food can heal you as it can harm you. Our diet should be a major concern. Too much chemicals, sugar, additives, unhealthy fats, salt, fried food, overprocessed, overcooked, artificial sweeteners, and much more. And as you know, more young people suffer from obesity, cardiovascular and chronic diseases, diabetes, immune disorders, which are directly linked to our modern diet. With the profusion of new diets and tendencies, you may not know what to do. People are often confused when asking about my diet, paleo, ketogenic, low food map, but it's individual, and I have been investigating for years to know what suits me. But the simplest and most important thing to remember is to eat the least processed food, natural, ideally organic,